Good morning, Bucknutters. Welcome to the Bucknuts Morning 5 here on Friday, March 23rd, 2018. I am Dave Biddle. Very happy to be joined by Jonah Booker. Jay Book had a chance to meet with Ohio State's quarterbacks yesterday after Ohio State's practice, fourth practice of the spring for the Buckeyes. Also, Ryan Day got a chance to meet with Alex Grinch and the safeties as well. But let's focus on the quarterbacks to start out with. Obviously, it was pro day as well yesterday. We'll get to that at the very end of the show. But I want to start off, J-Book, with Dwayne Haskins' comments. You know, I think he's handling himself so well. You got to feel like he knows it's his team, you know, he's parsing his words carefully. He doesn't come out and say, it's my team. He says things like, you know, we're splitting first-team reps, but, I'm going with the intentions that it's my team, and it's exactly what you want your quarterback to think, that it is his team. I like how he's handling it. He knows it's his team, but he's not going to come out there and make bombastic comments.
I agree. I love it. I love his attitude right now, his approach to the competition. I love where his head is at right now. He's focused. He's dialed in. The guy, he carries himself with a lot of swagger and confidence, and that's what you want from your quarterback, a guy who not necessarily been officially named a starter, but in his head, in his mind, he's going to approach the situation as a starter. He's going to prepare like he is the starter, and whenever he gets those split reps, he's going to take advantage of it. So I love what I'm hearing from Dwayne Haskins. The one thing that you're seeing from him is a maturation in his process. And in your article, he also mentioned that he's felt like he's been the guy ever since Michigan. So that tells me even going into the offseason, or during the bowl preparation and Big Ten championship, he's felt like he should be the starting quarterback, and there's nothing that he's done thus far that should sway him. So to me, I love where his head is at mentally, and I love the direction of this quarterback challenge.
Do you think there's any chance Urban Meyer has taken him aside and said, listen, you are my leader, you know, maybe ever so slightly, don't say that, it's between you and me, man to man. Has that conversation happened, in your opinion?
I think it easily could have happened. At this point in the game, you want to have your best quarterback putting his best foot forward on and off the field. You want your quarterback to be the leader of your ball club, and from all indications are Dwayne Haskins is turning to a heck of a leader. A lot of the younger guys have already looked up to him. Now he's starting to get the ear of the locker room with the veterans. I wouldn't be surprised if Meyer had told him that. But the thing is Meyer absolutely has told him, if you want to be the starting quarterback at the Ohio State University, there's a certain way you need to go about your business. There's a certain way that you need to carry yourself on and off the field. So I absolutely think those conversations have taken place.
Of course, we can't forget about Joe Burrow. I mean, as great as Dwayne Haskins is, if it wasn't for Dwayne Haskins being around, we would be talking about Joe Burrow being maybe the next great quarterback at Ohio State, and maybe he still will be. I'm on record that Joe Burrow will be a very good starting quarterback in Division I college football. I just don't know if he'll be here or somewhere else. But Burrow also met with the media yesterday. He actually met with the media after Pro Day, not before. So about 5 hours after Dwayne Haskins met with the media, Patrick Murphy posted a story to Bucknuts last night, if people haven't seen it. But, you know, Burrow says, you know, he doesn't laugh off the transfer news, but he says, no, I don't plan on transferring. He said, I plan on battling it out for the job. He didn't make any grand proclamations either, but he feels like that he's confident that he can win this job too. Just your thoughts on maybe, do you think that Joe Burrow has, you know, better than a puncher's chance to win this job, or do you think he's just like it's a super long shot?
No, I love it. Iron sharpens iron. I mean, when you have confident guys who are confident in their ability and feel like either one of them could lead this football team, you want that. Joe feels like he's right in the mix. in his eyes, he feels like he hasn't done anything to say, hey, Dwayne has separated from me. That's not the case because both guys are still splitting reps in practice. So I think he has more than a puncher's chance. He has an absolute shot. If he all of a sudden just starts turning it up and lighting it up, then it could give pause to the coaching staff when deciding who's going to be the starting quarterback at the end of spring. Now, the situation with Joe is, which is pretty tricky, is you will hope that he gets a definitive decision after spring ball is over if he's going to win that position or not, because he has to make that decision on if he's going to transfer somewhere else, if that is his ultimate decision, before fall camp so he can get in there and compete for a starting job. So he has to kind of weigh the decisions with Coach Meyer and where he stands, because from all indications, Dwayne Haskins he's not just going to give that job to Joe Burrow. And we have yet to hear raving reviews how Joe is lighting it up to the point to where he's separating from Dwayne. So there's still a lot of football to be played, but I think Joe, his time for decision is coming faster than what we all realize.
Before we move on to different positions, Tate Martell, I mean, real quick, I'd be remiss if I didn't bring him up as well. I mean, of course, and again, what else attitude would you like to have from your quarterback? But Tate Martell feels like he's in the mix. Just your thoughts on that.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Tate, he feels like he's in the mix for the starting job. I don't think he is, but as we all can attest, having solid depth at the quarterback position is critical, especially if Joe does decide to make a business decision on his behalf. Tate is one play away from being in there, so you want that confidence from him. He's a gamer. He in his eyes, feels like the way he's playing right now in practice, he hasn't done anything in his eyes to feel like the other guys are a clear cut above him. So you want this. This is great competition, and it's a great problem to have if you're the Ohio State coaching staff.
At safety, we met with Alex Grinch yesterday. That was fun talking to him again. Second time he's met with the media since taking the job. And let's focus on the safeties real quick. Alex Grinch confirmed. I mean, they view Jordan Fuller as an established starter. No surprise there. Fuller was a starter last year as a sophomore. Played very well. I thought he was a first-year starter, and I think he could be a future star. I want you to comment on Jordan Fuller. Also want you to comment, J-Book, on Isaiah Pryor. And Grinch did stop short of, proclaiming that Isaiah Pryor was the starter opposite Fuller, but did say that Pryor is taking the majority of first-team reps. He said there's other guys in the mix like Amir Reep and Jocelyn Wint and Brendan White, but looks like it's going to be Fuller and Pryor. Just your thoughts on the safeties.
Excuse me, just getting over a cold. Yeah, I'm a little concerned about the depth at the safety position because you got a lot of guys that are green that really haven't played a lot of football, meaning from snap. Now, Jordan Fuller, he's a proven guy. As you mentioned, he's a potential star in the making. I just love his range, the way he can cover ground back there and also get downhill when asked. Pryor, he is a big guy. I mean, if you look at him, look at his size and his physique and his length, he's probably one of the biggest safeties that we have. He has the length of a Tyvis Powell type of guy, but he comes up and he can bring that wood. So I'm very interested to see what he brings to the table. But the guy I think is sneaky athletic. He's still going to have to learn the position. Is Amir Reep. I think Reep could be a potential baller. The guy, he was a missile on special teams. He was a heck of a football player coming out of Cincinnati. Now, adjusting from corner to safety at the college level, especially at a high level like Ohio State, is definitely going to take some time. So I like to see him in the mix. It's exciting for these young guys because there's a lot of opportunity, a lot of playing time to be had especially if you can find yourself in the 2 deep. But I'm very confident in Fuller. I think Isaiah Pryor, he's going to be a guy that we look at. We have to wait and see what he does once the bullets are flying live, but he has a lot of potential.
And Pro Day was yesterday. Let's close with that. Buckeyes had Pro Day, and no surprise, Denzel Ward didn't run. Why would he? He ran a 4.32 at the Combine, the fastest time of anybody at the Combine, locked in as a top 10 pick. Latest box have him going 7th overall. So no surprise, Denzel Ward didn't run. A few other guys didn't run either. But let's get into the guys that did participate. Let's start with Sam Hubbard. He did not help himself at all. In fact, he hurt himself yesterday, Jay Book. It looks like Sam Hubbard ran the 40 in 4.89 seconds. 4.89 seconds, and Sam did not run at the Combine. So I think the talk of Hubbard being a late first-round pick, I think we can probably forget about that. I don't know what your thoughts on that are, but he's probably looking at second round now. I mean, 4.89 on what's supposed to be a fast track, not good for Sam Hubbard.
Yeah, that wasn't a good day for him. In my mind, I never thought Sam was going to be a first-round guy. He was a second-round guy, maybe third round. You know, and the thing is Sam, a lot of people look at him as a tweener, depending on what system fit you're talking about. Is he a 3-4 outside linebacker? Is he quick enough and twitched up enough in the NFL to be able to play in space? If he asked him to be a 3-4 guy, or is he strictly a 4-3? And if he's a 4-3, can he bend that corner and dip and get pressure on the quarterback? That remains to be seen. And I think a lot of GMs and scouts are going to have to go back to the tape and trust what their eyes and evaluation tell them, especially with Hubbard not putting up a spectacular 40 time.
Jalen Holmes did well at the Combine, so he didn't run. J.T. Barrett actually ran really well at the Combine, had the second fastest time of any quarterback at the Combine. Now, Lamar Jackson did not run at the Combine, but Barrett ran a 4.740. I mean, it's hard to say how they did in drills because it's just really hard to make that out, especially with the little area we're given. So I'm just giving 40 times out here. But so, again, Holmes did not run. Ward did not run. Barrett did not run at Pro Day yesterday. But a couple other guys before I let you go. Tyquan Lewis, I thought he helped himself. You know, he ran the 40 in 4.69. I think a lot of people might have thought that Sam Hubbard and Tyquan Lewis might have been kind of equal speed-wise, or maybe even Hubbard was a little faster. Lewis, 4.69 in the 40. I think Tyquan Lewis helped himself yesterday, J-Book.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned him because I think he had a spectacular day. He's a guy that absolutely helped himself. He was sick with the flu at the NFL Combine, so he wasn't at full strength even though he did participate. So him being back healthy and putting up a 4.69 was spectacular. But I think the thing that really helped him was his broad jump. He increased that by 5 inches, and his measurements that he put up on his broad jump would have put him second overall out of all participants at the NFL Combine. So what does that tell you? That tells you that Tyquan Lewis is an explosive defensive end prospect, and he's put on weight this offseason. So for him to put up that 40 times and you parlay that into an excellent broad jump, increasing that by 5 inches, definitely has a lot of people's interest. And there was a lot of speculation that Matt Patricia and the Detroit Lions spent a lot of time with him, was very interested in getting to know him. So I think Tyquan Lewis was absolutely a guy that helped himself at the Pro Day.
He's a great kid, too, so I couldn't be happier for Tyquan Lewis. That's awesome. I know looking at his NFL.com page going into the Pro Day, it said, largely because of the Combine. I mean, it's not like we don't have, like, plenty of film on the guy. The guy was only a fifth-year senior, was Big Ten Defensive Lineman of the Year, 2-time first-team All-Big Ten. But let's all, talk about how he didn't run at the Combine, and even though he was sick, he didn't do quite as well. People put so much emphasis on the Combine. But it's great to see Tyquan Lewis have a great day because I was not buying 5th or 6th round for him. I think he's now solid 4th round, maybe even 3rd round, so good for him. Before I let you go real quick, 2 more guys. Damon Webb did not do well at the Combine, didn't do that good yesterday for a safety, especially undersized safety. 4.58, not terrible, better than 4.68 at the Combine, but still not very good. And then Marcus Ball, 4.78, not that great for Marcus Baugh. Again, Damon Webb, 4.58, Marcus Baugh, 4.78. Your thoughts, J-Book?
Yeah, I'll start with Marcus Baugh. I'm not sure if he gets drafted. He could be a free agent guy that picks where he wants to go and have a shot to make an NFL roster. The thing is he was so inconsistent throughout his career. The tape is not going to really tell a huge story about him. I know Coach Wilson has been on the coaching and media circuit during the off season, and he's told stories about how they were getting ready to bench Marcus Baugh, but all of a sudden he turned it on late into his senior year. So it'll be interesting to see if he can find himself on the NFL roster. He has a shot, though. Damon Webb was never really a plant your foot and go fast type of safety. He was just really good at reading recognition late in his career. The guy made up for a lot of that foot speed with being in the right spot. So just him knocking his time down to a 4.58 guy was interesting. And I absolutely think Damon Webb will play in the NFL. He will get drafted. If you look at the Walter Sports where they tell who prospects are visiting with during the combine, Damon Webb actually had the most meetings with NFL teams out of all the Ohio State guys that were at the combine. So there's a lot of interest in him, and I'm sure with all the NFL scouts and analysts and GMs there at Ohio State Pro Day, there were a lot of eyes on him. So I definitely think he's going to be a guy that plays on Sundays.
Great stuff, as always, from Jonah Booker. Thank you very much, Jay Book. You can catch his column every week on Bucknuts. It is outside Columbus. You can catch him on the Front Row message board all the time, of course, dropping knowledge. You can catch him on Twitter at jbook37. So thank you very much, Jonah Booker. And thanks to all the listeners out there for tuning in to the show. Hope you have a great day and a great weekend. Let's hear that Buckeye swag, best damn band in the land.